This is Prepared to Qualify, and I'm Troy. Thanks for watching. You know, people have asked me how I got the name for this YouTube channel, Prepare to Qualify. Well, there's this old video game from back in the 80s made by Namco for Atari that was a console game, and it was called Pole Position. It was really not a very good game, but it was very popular. And every time you started, put in a new quarter for a new round of lives, it would say Prepare to Qualify.
Prepare to qualify.
So, and there was this kind of funny Japanese lady that I guess had done the voiceover for it. So, anyways, every time you started to play the game, it would say Prepare to Qualify, Prepare to Qualify. My kids would play it. We had a video game console with some retro games on it, and it was one of the games on there, and the kids used to play that when they were little in the early 2000s and thought it was funny, and they wouldn't stop saying it. So that's how I got the name. It's kind of funny, but also, you know, kind of helps me go back and remember some of the days when I was a little bit younger. So to talk a little bit about the race last weekend, I was just so excited that, for one, the crowd was great. Thank you to all the fans in Wisconsin and Milwaukee for coming out to the race. It really helps with, you know, bringing in revenue to the sport. It really helps the sponsors, really gets them excited, helps people identify with the, you know, their favorite driver, with what, you know, car they drive and what sponsors that car. You know, I really think this Milwaukee race was like a community event, and the Wisconsin State Fair, who took over the promotions of this race this year, I think it was Penske Entertainment last year. They did a great job. They made it like a community event, and that's what these races are. They're community events. They're places that you want to go. You want to go see maybe your neighbors, or, you know, I mean, it just really, especially on the state fairgrounds. I mean, just what a great atmosphere. I thought Fox did a great job on the pre-race, on the broadcast, and even after the race. It was nice to actually see the pre-race, just to get the whole experience again. And then that's what we know that we deserve, and what we can get is a great race. Not every race is going to be perfect, but a good race on a Sunday, on an oval, in the sun, you know, up in the up north, because I mean, a lot of those races wouldn't go over that well down here in Texas this time of the year. But yeah, that's what it was all about. Just a great day in Milwaukee. Congratulations to Christian Rasmussen and Ed Carpenter Racing, the number 21. I just happened to get a duplicate of it just a few weeks ago, actually. And as you can tell, even these 1/64 scale diecast models, they're pretty realistic, and the detail is very impressive. So, and these are $5 or $6. You know, we talked a little bit about the diecast before in a previous episode, and how much fun it is, and how well they do at promoting the sport. So you don't have to get the big ones. Yeah, the big ones are anywhere from $50 to $100, but you can get these small ones for anywhere from $5 to $10. And hey, you know, wouldn't it be great to maybe drop off, you know, a few of these this week at maybe one of Splenda's offices or their warehouses, or wherever the people are that are paying the money to sponsor the car, is to drop off a few nice things and say, hey, we won, thank you so much for helping us get there. I mean, I'm sure Ed Carpenter knows this kind of stuff, but yeah, that's what it takes. And overall, just like I said, I was very happy to see Christian Rasmussen win. I mean, I knew that he was going to get there. He just kept getting better and crazier. It almost seemed like he almost lost the handling on that car so many times I can't even remember. But anyways, it was a fun race and exactly what IndyCar needed. So I'm very excited that, you know, we have that momentum going into Nashville.
His championship, he's right with him. He's going to have to go the long way around. Rasmussen keeps it stuck in. Rasmussen is gutsy. Rasmussen is brave. Hello hangs on. They run high. And Rasmussen has the lead. Holy cow, what a pass.
Our ovals has been pretty good this year, so if it doesn't last, I don't know. But no, today was amazing. We were talking about before the race that if there's a late caution, then we want to go on new tires because it's just such an advantage. So there was more people that did it than I thought there would at the last stint, but it was definitely the right choice. I mean, we were so good on new tires, even compared to other cars on new tires. So, wow. That's a good day. It's a good Sunday.
And the celebration is on now for Ed Carpenter Racing.
So one of the things I wanted to mention about the races real quick is that I was actually able to go to 2 races last year. They were out of town. I live in Texas, so I was able to go to Monterey, California, Laguna Seca for the Grand Prix there, and went to the Milwaukee Mile for the Sunday race last year and had a great time. Everything was awesome. I've used the same email address. I've used the same cell phone number, the same username, same passwords to buy tickets to IndyCar races every year, probably for the last 20 years. And still, I don't hear from anybody. Like, I still can't believe it. In Austin, where I live, like, there's a Formula One and a NASCAR race at Circuit of the Americas. I went to both of them last year, and both of them started texting me and emailing me like 5 days after the race was over about buying tickets and giving me incentives to buy tickets for next year. Well, how is it that I've been to all of these IndyCar races all over the place, and yet no one has ever sent me a, hey Troy, we noticed that you flew to Milwaukee last year and went to the race. How'd you like to do that again? Well, we have some great hotel packages. I mean, hello, that's just marketing like 101. So anyways, IndyCar is doing some really great things now. I heard today that we were even getting a video game, which is like, I really want to just go drop on my knees and just start crying. Like, I have been advocating for a video game for the last 20 years and just going like, how can we not have one? How does every other sport have one? But anyways, the good thing is that we're getting these things, and IndyCar and Doug Bowles is doing such a great job, and all the people over at Penske Entertainment and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the IndyCar Series. I mean, they're doing the things that we have been asking for, and that's what's great. They're listening, and it's working. So if we can all work together to bring in more revenue to the sport, to maybe buy a few extra tickets, to get a few extra fans to come to the race, to maybe add a sponsor here or there, or go get an ice cream at one of the companies that sponsors one of the cars. I mean, that's really not that much to ask to get such a great sport and to get a great value. We get that Indianapolis 500, which is one of the crown jewels of motorsports. So I think, everything's moving in the right direction. I just wanted to point out the fact that really, someone really needs to get on that, because how is it that, like I said, I can buy tickets to races, fly out of town, get hotel reservations and all that using the same cell phone number, same email address, basically, and I never get anything from any of these tracks or IndyCar asking me about buying tickets for next year's race. So maybe they don't know if the race is going to be next year. So that might be actually a pretty good reason. But anyways, one of the things that IndyCar needs to look into, and can probably add a lot more to their attendance factors if they can get some of the return business from the year before. That's all I got to say. Hey, just something to think about, and I talked about this in a previous episode. One of the real challenges of being an IndyCar fan is the fact that our season, is over this weekend, and the fact that the other two, series that compete with IndyCar in the United States are both continuing to race on, and that's fine. But I just don't think we can sit here and do nothing while all of these motorsports fans are out at these other races for the remainder of the fall. So just think, you've got Formula One races here in Austin, you've got the one in Las Vegas, you got the NASCAR playoffs. You could put together a hauler just for promotional purposes for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and paint up a couple of replicas of IndyCar chassis and stock car chassis and anything else that races at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and just go to these other races and promote it. Like, give away some tickets to the Indy 500 or the Brickyard 400 or the IMSA race, which I think they're still having there. So yeah, you could actually put a replica of all three of those types of cars, a couple that you could display at, say, a NASCAR race, give tickets away to next year's Indy 500, Brickyard 400, have simulators out there, let the kids climb on the cars, drive them, pretend like they're driving them. Just, put together something that is like, safe proof that the kids can't destroy, obviously, but that's what we're trying to do, is get people interested. And the best way to get people interested is to get them to go to a race. But if they're not going to your race, then why not go to that race just as one of the promoters of the greatest racetrack on the planet, and then just based on that, that gives you the credibility to get into these other races and to present, the products that we have, because we want people obviously going to the Brickyard 400. That makes money for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And it's important that these, the other race series that we compete against, do well, obviously, but the fact that they're doing well gives us opportunity to get some of their fans. And even if we just got 20%, say, of NASCAR fans that went to the playoffs this fall to maybe tune into the first couple of IndyCar races, and then we have a couple of races like we just had last weekend, and guess what? We got a new fan. Hey, each week we're going to take a look at a couple of cars for the upcoming race weekend and look at their sponsors. And since it's the last race weekend of the season, there were two that really stood out, and one of them was the number 60 for Meyershank Racing, a Honda. For Felix Rosenquist, the driver, the Sirius XM is the sponsor. They usually are, but this weekend they have the Maximum Metallica livery on the car, which is a designated channel that they'll have on Sirius XM. So if you like Metallica or you drive a lot for a living, you've got to have Sirius XM. So make sure that you log on to their website or Meyershank's racing website and take a look at some of the deals they might have to give them a try. I can't live without it. I was able to listen to the remaining part of the race on Sunday just because of my Sirius XM radio. So thank you to them. They're a longtime sponsor. I mean, they were a sponsor on Brian Herter's car whenever I was going to Texas Motor Speedway 20 years ago. And I have a picture and a signed autograph of Brian Herter with that XM sponsorship. So thank you to them. I mean, that's literally almost 20 years of being a primary sponsor on one of the cars in the series. So thank you. And then we have the number 28 Andretti Global Honda. Marcus Ericsson drives. It's Delaware Life is the insurance company. As part of a group, a company called Group 1001 that is a bunch of different insurance companies. But Delaware Life handles financials, annuities, and retirement products for people that are looking for investment help. So take a look at them, log on to their website and see if there's anything that, that might interest you. It's just good to know who they are. This Delaware Life was, like I said, part of the Group 1001, which also is a part sponsor of Colton Herter's car. And I think may even has something to do with Gamebridge Financial too. So I have to check into that. But I know Gamebridge obviously does a lot of great things by sponsoring, a team, sponsors part of the Indy 500, or does sponsor the Indy 500 and has a big, huge sponsorship at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So thank you to them, and thank you to all the sponsors this weekend. We appreciate it. It's been a great year. We hope that they come back next year, and we'll even give them more bang for their buck. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome weekend. It's kind of sad that it's the last race, but I'm looking forward to it. We got a long off season, and we'll work out some of these marketing and promotional and finance problems, and then have an even better series in 2026. So I was able to go into a local branch of PNC Bank this week. And it was a great time to go. It was in the afternoon, so it wasn't very busy. I was able to talk to a couple of the tellers, one of the investment bankers and the branch manager, and I'll just told them, asked them about their products, and then what makes PNC Bank different, and why should I open an account here and stuff, and got some information, literature, and then just told them about, hey, I appreciate the fact that you guys sponsor the number 9 PNC Bank car for Scott Dixon. They're like, what? I'm like, yes. I mean, you guys have ever heard of Scott Dixon? He's one of the best IndyCar race car drivers on the planet, and he drives your car, and your bank sponsors his car, and I appreciate that. It's my favorite sport, and so yeah, just talked to them about that. They were all real interested in it. Showed them what the car looked like on my phone. Offered to bring them some die casts, some of the smaller ones, obviously, and there's plenty of these smaller die casts available for the number 9 car, just because of the fact it's Scott Dixon. So yeah, you can definitely find it, and I'm gonna probably take some of those over there and just enjoy, educating them. And I still have some things to work out on a little role play that I'm working on to do with the Spectrum store down the road that I talked to you about a few weeks ago. That again, was telling me that they thought it was really cool that they had a Formula One car, and I was like, no, you don't have a Formula One car, And so again, it's just about educating them. Had no idea, never even heard of IndyCar. They were oblivious to the fact that they even sponsored a car at some time. But yeah, we can talk about all that and look forward to trying to change people's minds of one at a time or thousands at a time. I'd rather do thousands at a time. So let's try to do that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching till the end. Thanks to everybody's help that helps me with this every week. And we'll watch the race this weekend. It'll be the last one, and we'll talk about it next week.